What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Fly Young Gentleman. That's right. Your number one source for the best goddamn YouTube videos. And, well, today I wanted to talk a little bit about the crew. Now, yesterday I made a video driving from New York to LA. And it was pretty cool, but I felt like I ragged on the game a little too much. And I didn't I kind of went around, I shifted, topics a little too much, and I wanted to make a little bit more of a clear video. So yeah, very simple. The goddamn motorcycles weren't driving by, it'd be a lot easier. But one thing, let me start giving you some more positive outlook on it. The way I, ragged on the game yesterday was kind of warranted in a way, but this game is still a wonderful game. I feel like if it wasn't, maybe it's just my personal bias to more hardcore racing games like Forza. But even I was a fan of Horizon, even though it wasn't as hardcore, because it was a good mix. And I feel like this game is going to be a good mix, and it feels like a good mix right now, because this is pretty much the full game. It's a really good mix of realism and Need for Speed. I use Need for Speed as a gauge because it's in my opinion, the crap of the crap. It's really not, it's not a good game. I don't like them. I don't personally enjoy them just because they've never made a game that has proven to me, this is good, other than a couple of them way back in the day. I played Need for Speed Shift. That was a fun game. And there was actually manual. And it was all right, but there's just a lot of the newer games are way too arcadey, and I don't mind that sometimes, and that's why I don't mind the crew, because the crew is a little arcadey, but it also mixes a good amount of realism. Also, I said I hope you can change differentials and stuff, which I found out today you can. You can change race intakes. The customization is actually quite good. It's like I said, I'm not 100% sure the game isn't all the way out. I'm really not that far into it. I've been driving around more than I have really been progressing through the story. That's why I decided to include some story missions. But for the most part, the game, it's arcadey, but it's got realism to an extent, which is good. And the reason why I like realism in racing video games is if you're driving and it doesn't feel like you're actually driving your car, what's the point of playing the game? Why don't you go play, an old school racing game? Why are you gonna play, a nice, I guess there is the audience for the arcade racing games for like younger kids and stuff, but I feel like that's not what this game was intended to be for. I feel like it was for racing, quote unquote, enthusiasts and stuff. And while I am a really, big, shooter fan, I did a lot of competitive play back in Black Ops and Black Ops 2, stuff like that. And even a little in Modern Warfare 3, but for the majority of it, I am a big shooter fan. I play a lot of shooters, and I play all sorts of games, but I'm a big racing fan as well. But the reason you don't see me playing a lot of racing games is, for the most part, I got banned from Horizon, and Forza 5 is fun. You guys saw me play that. I play that, but I really don't have many people to play with. But for the most part, let's go. I see I went off topic again. I'm sorry, guys, but the game is good. This is a game I'm definitely going to be picking up. I recommend picking it up if you like Forza Horizon. But we're going to have to wait and see when the open beta comes out September 16th, I believe it was, for Forza Horizon 2. I will give you my outlook on that. Maybe it might even be a better game. Hopefully it's not a beta, actually. It's going to be a demo, because the game will be finished at that point, because it's coming out September 30th. Maybe there's going to be, make sure all the shipping is done and everything, but for the most part, the game is 100% done, and it's going to be really interesting to see and play it and kind of compare the two games, because they are very similar in terms of, working your way up. This one's a little bit more, it took a weird spin with the crime and the, trying to, bust these people like the criminals, and by going through and joining the ranks. I think it's a cool type of spin, but I kind of enjoyed the Horizon Festival kind of lore, where you had to work your way up and kind of move through and move up car classes from like, a D class car. Next thing you know, you're racing the R1, Bugattis, fully maxed out and everything. I really enjoyed that. And this seems like it's going to be very similar, but in a little bit different of a play. And the map is massive, guys. There's something, I don't know if they're going to change this or what, but it says like, okay, I'll be driving from, I just did a drive to test it from Miami Airport to Las Vegas, the strip, to the end of the strip where the airport is. And it took me well over 30 minutes. And it said the whole trip was like 60 miles. And I was going about, I was always going over 100. I was balancing between 130 miles an hour, probably averaging there, and 160 miles an hour. I should have been there a lot quicker. So I think the mile counter is completely broken. I want them to try and make that more accurate because it makes it seem like the map is really small when it's not. They should be advertising this map is big. That should be their big selling point because it really is wonderful. It's something I love. It's so great. I love to just drive and drive freely without any limitations or anything. And this game is doing it well. Now, I feel like you should be able to disable a few of the things like the pop-up shit, you know, and the like road missions. Because honestly, I really don't give a shit about them unless I'm playing the story. But if I'm just trying to drive, I'm just trying to drive, you know. I don't want you to take my RPM and speedometer away because the speedometer is not on all of the cars. And the RPM meter is usually on all of them, which is good. But for the most part, I don't like them taking away that little HUD gauge thing. I really enjoy using it. But yeah, pretty much it. And it obscures your road view quite a bit when you're driving in cockpit. And that's something that bothers me. They should have they should have thought a little bit more into it, right? If you're going to be racing in the cockpit, you should, account. If I put the same size banner as I would when he's in third person, then really it's going to be destroying his entire field of view. And I don't think they really thought. Come on, right? I mean, you're making a AAA game here. You need to think a little bit more in depth. It could be a beta thing. Maybe they're fixing it, whatever. But I highly doubt it, seeing as the game is right around the corner. Yes, I realize there is some months in between, but come on. For the most part, it's almost done. They're probably just doing, maybe adding a few missions, touching up the story, maybe touching up a few little things, but it's got to be done probably by next month. And then they have to, do all the final, server testing and everything. But yeah, pretty much, I mean, they've got to be close to done. So I'm expecting this to be pretty much the final product. It's a great game. I'm really enjoying it. It's wonderful. It's a game that I've been waiting for. But now all we have to see is if Forza Horizon 2 is going to be the better game. I'm going to be comparing the two. These are going to be two competitors for me because it's going to be which one I end up playing more. And and putting on my channel more, really. So really, I guess that's what it's going to come down to is me putting, the two together, pitting them head, 1v1, head versus head, whatever, and seeing which is the better racing game. So that's going to be really interesting. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully they fix the clutch things. My only complaint still, there's a few other complaints obviously, but you know what I mean. On the driving aspect, the steering's okay. I can't really judge. I'm using a fucking keyboard. You either press it or you don't, and it's actually really not that bad for racing on a keyboard compared to other games I've tried. So that's definitely a positive for you PC players who don't have an expensive ass wheel. I do have a good wheel, but it's for Xbox and it's not for PC, and I could do some modding. I heard I might have to do that. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Anyways, the TheFlyYoungG gentleman here. I hope you are enjoying these crew videos. There will be a few more, then we're going to go back to The Last of Us until Destiny's release, which is going to be big. I'm going to be playing that like crazy, and shit, it's going to be fun. And hopefully I can be doing an unboxing of the Ghost Edition. I don't have it 100% locked down yet, but I do have the limited edition locked down. So yeah, that's it. See you guys later. Have class and get that ass. Peace.